Something I came across only in the last 12 months that I wish I'd done at the start of my career, and it would be interesting to see if I ended up in the same place, was a thing called Ikigai. I don't know if you've seen that, where there are four circles. Things that you're great at is one, things that you love, things that the world needs, and things that you can get paid for.
Yeah.
And I did that in my role actually this year, not things the world needs and things that you get paid for, but things I love, things I'm good at, and things the company needs right now. And that helped drive my prioritization, because sometimes I can be tempted to do things that I love that might not be what the company needs, most importantly. And some things the company needs, I might not be very good at, and therefore I might put that on the hard to do list. So this was, I would do this from a career point of view to try and work out which bets to place, first of all. So I would do that, and I'll do that with I've got a 19 and a 16-year-old. And when they enter the workplace, I'll go through that exercise with them. You got to know enough about yourself, first of all. So maybe you need a bit of experience, but I'd certainly start with that. Have you seen that process? Have you come across that before?
I've not. No. It sounds great,
super.
Though. Yeah,
it's super, really helpful.
Yeah. Great piece
and
of advice.
The second thing.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Somebody I met in 2020 had written a book, William Schneider, and the book was called Lead Right for Your Company's Type.
Okay.
And he described 4 different types of companies, and people thrive generally in one of them, but not in all 4. And the author realized that people would move from one company to another, and they were flying in the previous company, and then they would crash, and nobody knew why. And if you're in an organization like an oil rig or a nuclear submarine or a utility, he calls it predictable and dependable. You follow the rules. Right? There's a process to follow. Lives are in danger if you don't. Whereas if you are in an enrichment company, which is the opposite of that, like maybe a Patagonia or a charity or someone who's driving something from value, you really have got much less process and much more freedom. And there were 2 other types. One was customized, which might be a design company or an architect or a PR company where they customize their solution for you. And then the other one was the type of companies I'm attracted to, which is best of breed. But I worked at IBM for a while, and I loved it. I learned a lot about sales methodology and big organizations, but there's 300,000 people, and I felt like a number.
Yeah.
And you had to follow the process. Whereas in a startup, I don't believe in hierarchy, actually. I want meritocracy. I want people in any level in the company challenging my ideas, because we need to make the best decisions we can. And I've got no ego in being right. But that doesn't work in a highly process-oriented hierarchical organization.
Oh, yeah.
So the same person in those 2 environments, one might get fired and one might absolutely love it. And there's nothing wrong with the person. So I would have a look at the type of culture that was a good fit for you as well, and see where you might thrive. But the biggest one I would say is dare to dream.
Yeah.
I would say anybody who's choosing any career, whether it's cybersecurity or something else, the world will tell you can't. And people will want to frame you in their own image. And it's much safer to stay where you are than go somewhere else. We've got a customer who used to be a ski instructor, and now he's running compliance and doing a wonderful job. And they hired him based on his outstanding qualities as a human being. Our data science lead is an astrophysicist.
Wow.
Her background, she processed a lot of data, and she's been at the heart of our company growth. And I hire people based on their qualities. If they've got integrity, if they've got grit, drive, strong work ethic, determination, if they're highly accountable and do what they say and don't blame, if they've got high IQ, if they can get on well and play nice with people and collaborate, but also hold them accountable. If somebody's got oodles of that, but less experience, and they can demonstrate, where they've put their hand up and say, yeah, that was my fault, and they haven't blamed. And when they got fired from the previous company, they say, hey, I screwed up. I made a mistake. I learned from that. Let me tell you what I've done differently. All day long, I'll place a bet on that over somebody who's highly credentialed, but doesn't meet my criteria around character. Because think about it on a graph where one axis is your capability in the role, and the other axis is your character, or whether you're a good human being, whichever way you want to phrase it. I want somebody who's top right. I'll trade off experience I won't trade off values. I won't compromise on values. I can't. It's hard to teach people values.
Yeah.
People generally don't change
Right.
in their core, but you can teach people experience and you can teach people skills and knowledge. So I just encourage people to dare to dream, play chess, not checkers, with their career, and think about the moves they want to make over the long term. Find ways to get there and map their career, and don't compromise. And if you're in the wrong place and it's not a cultural fit, far be from me to say it because I don't know people's financial circumstances, but I would play the long game, and I would say your career is short. Every second, every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every month, every quarter, every year counts.
Yeah.
And therefore spend all of that as much as you can growing and getting more valuable and delivering more value to companies. And then you can build your career path by serving the organizations and the teams you're in and the customers that you have. But the dare to dream is the thing I did early in my career, and I think that served me well. And that's what drove me to learn more and grow, because I wanted to do bigger roles. And don't be limited by how we perceive ourselves today, because we can grow and we can learn to be anything we need to be.
Want more career advice? Well, click here to check out my full conversations on the Cyberwork podcast. Every week, I sit down with a cybersecurity practitioner to discuss how you can break into and move up the ladder in the cybersecurity industry. See you there.